Hello, this is Teacher Amelia, and I've been meaning to do this for quite some time, but I wanted to show you how quick and easy it was to use Feedback Panda to create your feedback. And also, for those of you who may have been using it for some time and have some templates built up, I've got a quick and easy way to help make sure that the lesson plans are up to date if you teach a lot of level 2 and those lessons have been updated recently. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll walk through this together. So, ooh, my head's giant. All right, so let's see here. Okay, so I'm logged into the teacher's portal here, and because I use Feedback Panda, when I do my feedback, I actually use Chrome and use the web browser. I do use the portal, the app, to teach a class, but I always use Chrome to do my feedback. And so I'm going to go into my first class here for tomorrow morning, and that's Rosie, and I'm going to click on the little panda. And now normally what I would do is I would actually separate these tabs and I'd put them side by side and have the lesson over here on the left, and I would have the feedback on the right, because obviously I'm not going to be sharing the proprietary lesson content. I'm actually just going to have this up, and I'm going to use my phone app to take a look at the actual content. Now, my secret little hack for making sure that my feedback is up to date and knowing if I've updated my templates or not is I always separate my feedback into sections. And the first section is overall feedback. And if you'll notice, I have two little stars next to it. Once I update it, I will actually put 3 stars on either side. And so I know personally that, oh, I've already looked at that, I've already updated it, it's current. And so I don't have to spend more time doing that. Now, I write very detailed feedback, and I know there's quite the controversy over whether parents like lengthy feedback or like shorter feedback. I know that some parents have said, I don't need the recap of the lesson, but this helps me when I'm writing feedback because I don't do it real time during the class. I do it after my first block of classes. And so it helps me remember what we did. And I always, always, always go back and make it super personal after the fact. I've had some feedback from parents that they really like this level of detail. And I figure for those parents who don't, they don't have to read it. They can skip over it. Or by using the little starred sections, they could skip down. And I also add some added feedback down here that's specific to the lesson, which I'm going to show you here in just a minute. So they can always skip down to the section that they want. So I've opened up my lesson here, and I do have a template in here that I've used before, but I've not updated it. And so I'm not sure if this is actually a lesson that has changed or not, but I'm going to go into the app, and I'm going to pull open the lesson plan. And I'm just going to quickly scroll through the slides and just scan my feedback compared to the slides and make sure that it's still timely and accurate. A couple of the things that I also look for, if you notice down here in my template, I also have props listed. And so some of my earlier templates, I didn't do that. And so I always want to make sure that that's there. And what I do is I take those and I copy them and I put them into a Word document that I then print and I can use for notes. And so, again, that's just a personal preference. Obviously, I'm not going to send the list of props to a parent. And, I'm going to delete that before I do that. I actually already had a feedback list for tomorrow started. So I'm just going to copy and paste those props, and that way in the morning when I'm half awake, I can just glance at that piece of paper and see it. All right, so the first slide's about tag, and so that's still appropriate in soccer. And you'll see here that it's got already has a personalized sentence in there, which I can change if I need to after the lesson. Now, it does look like it's maybe a little bit different, so I'm going to add a sentence here. So I'm going to go into my template and actually come over here to my template and click edit. So that way it changes on all of them, not just on Rosie's feedback for tomorrow. So I'm going to put my 3 little stars in so I know it's been updated. I'm going to start making my changes. With Feedback Panda in your templates, you can just put name in brackets and it'll automatically populate your student's name. So that's really handy. Sentences. This is all right, so that's real simple, just kind of summarizing that part of the lesson. I always try to change up my language a little bit, but I'm pretty consistent in what I say. So my student was able to answer the question, what do they play, by answering with the correct sport. Tag, soccer, basketball, etc. Okay, now here we're back on track with what's in the template where we're talking about friends. And I always try to put something personal in here to say, you know, the student told me that she liked to play tag with her friends or she liked to read with her friends. And so it's also a reminder for me so I can extend during the class. Now, I'm big on verb conjugation, and even with the younger students who may not be doing a lot of complex conjugation, I always put the full sequence of I, you, we, they, like, he, she, it, likes. And I also have a little chart. I'm surprised I don't have one right. Oh, I do. I have one right here that I use. It's obviously not backwards when I use it in class, but this particular camera, since I'm not on my classroom, shows the text backwards, but I almost always, if time allows, have them conjugate the full list. So that's just my preference. Student was able to answer what do they like and fill in the blank with all the new activities we have been learning. Excuse me, I'm sorry about my voice. I've been sick for, 6 weeks now, so. All right, so I'm just scanning through page by page and going through the lesson. She also answered several questions about what she does and does not like to do. Great job with this activity. And then in the class, I'll probably put in, she said that she likes to play soccer, but she does not like to play basketball, or whatever she actually answered. So phonics is the same. Words ending in IN and IG. And then we've got the math section using the words plus and minus and difference. So that is still the same. I'll probably put in something in here about the word problem as well. Name did a great job with the word problem. She was able to read it, fill in the numbers, and use her new vocabulary correctly. And of course, if she wasn't, if class didn't go well and she did not do a good job, I would update that when I customize it tomorrow. Okay, so that template is now current. So I'm going to click Generate Mail Template, and it's going to update the equivalent over here, replacing the his and the hers with his and so on and so forth. And then I'm going to click Save Changes to this template. Keep my changes. Wait. No, I'm sorry. Generate new feedback. All right, so now over here, This is my custom feedback, which I'm going to set for tomorrow. And you'll see it actually already has her name in there. I know it's my new template because it's got the 3 stars in there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the props because obviously the parent doesn't need that. I always put in a homework section, which I'll fill out depending on what she needs to work on or what she could use practice with. And then a next steps section. And with next steps, this is where I sometimes ask for feedback. This is a regular, and so I generally don't with them. By this point in time, she's either going to or not going to leave feedback, so I don't need to keep asking for it. And so what I would generally do is I would pop back over here to my app, and I'm going to look at bookings, which are pretty low simply because I've been sick, and so I've closed out a good number of slots. So Rosie's almost always on Mondays, but I'm just going to glance. I'm going to look at next week, and she's probably there on Monday. Yep, she's already there on Monday. And so I'm going to go in and I'm going to look and see what that lesson is about. And so I would come in here to my upcoming classes and go down to my next Rosie class. Oh, I need to go to the longer tab here. Let's see here. All right, so here's my next Rosie class on February 25th. And I'm just going to quickly glance at the objectives here. So we're still going to be learning about friends and what we do together and keep working on math vocabulary. And we're going to talk about tag and basketball and ping pong and playing and running. So I'm just going to come back here and say, I will see Rosie next Monday. Oops. We will continue to learn about soccer, tag, ping pong, basketball, and other, boy, I'm making a lot of typos, other fun activities we do with our friends. See you soon. All right, and so I'm going to save that, and that's all there is to it. And then I'm ready to go in tomorrow and customize it based on how she actually did in the lesson. And so I'm going to save and close that. And then just a quick peek at how quickly it goes once you have an updated template in there. So if I go back into the portal here, and let me just go back here. I'm going to go into upcoming classes. Tomorrow is the 18th. Rosie's the one that I just did. And so Emma's my next class, so I'm going to pop that open. And takes it a second to pop up. And oh, look, it's got 3 little stars, so I know that it's current. I know that it's up to date, and I've updated it. And it's an assessment. And so what I would do is I would actually go through and read through this. If I'm not very familiar with a lesson, I might still click through the slides again just to make sure I'm comfortable with them all and I know exactly what I'm doing. But if I've done it recently or recently updated it, I probably won't look through every slide again. But I'll look through and see what each section is and scroll down. And I actually did just do this a little while ago, so I'm not going to sit here and read the whole thing. I'm going to take my props list that I had. I'm going to cut them out of there because I don't need to send those to the parents. 6:30, I have Emma. Here's my props. And I do usually put my reward in here as well. And so I haven't really thought through what rewards I'm going to use or if I'm going to play around and make up some new ones tonight. But that's as quick and easy as it is, you know. I'm going to put in here my homework. But she probably won't have any on the assessment since we're getting ready to switch into a new unit. And so next steps. And so this is going to be a fun one. So let's see. If I go into bookings, let's see, I probably have Emma on Wednesday next. Yep, sure enough, there she is on Wednesday. So let me go to my classrooms. And here she is. So we're going to be starting My Feelings will be our next one. So let me just take a quick peek at those materials. And we're going to start off talking about body parts. So that's going to be a fun unit. So I'm going to go ahead and add my next steps. Emma did such a great job on her assessment. When we meet on Wednesday, we will be starting a brand new unit, and we will be learning about body parts. See you soon. And actually, for Emma, I'm going to put in my signature for her. Rosie's I've already got her on WeChat, so I just put Love Teacher Amelia. But for Emma, she's not on my WeChat, so I'm going to go ahead and put that signature in there. Check and make sure I'm set up for tomorrow. And save and close, and that's it. So quick and easy. Obviously, the more you do and the more templates you already have, the quicker this becomes. And it's so, so handy. One of the other great things, and I just know I've written another post, a blog post about Feedback Panda, but I just love this because when you open this up, not only do you see the feedback that you have, but you can see a description over here on the left. You can easily see her age. Oh gosh, sorry about that. In the upper left-hand corner there, you can see her age and her birthday, how many times you've taught the student. You can see at a glance all of the previous reward systems, which I think is just fantastic because I'm constantly trying to keep it fresh and new. And so I want to see what I've done with her before, especially doing multiple lessons from the same unit. I don't want to overlap and get confused. You can look and see the template. The template that you're using. You can also quickly and easily see your previous feedback and notes. If the parent had given feedback, that would be listed here as well so that you could read that. And so if I wanted to go back and say, okay, in her last lesson, what did I tell her to work on? I can scroll through and see the feedback and say, okay, her homework was, okay, obviously she needed to do her project for this assessment. And then I had asked them to do a review of the common high frequency word list. And so that was what she had struggled with. So in my feedback up here in the assessment, I would say last time I told Emma to focus on practicing those high frequency words, and she did a really great job with that. She didn't get them confused at all. So great job practicing that. So it's great. You can easily go back through your other lessons and see what you've told them and what feedback you've shared. So I hope this was helpful. It's a little bit of a more detailed look at how I personally use Feedback Panda. There are pre-made templates out there that you can use if you don't want something custom, and you certainly don't have to do feedback as long as I do. That's just my personal preference. So I hope you found this helpful, and happy teaching. Thanks.